Okay, so the question was, let's see, I'm going back to the initial question. So there was an endorsement request to add a vehicle, and so they needed cost new, vehicle use, radius, coverages, etc. And then, we clarified this is not a request to add a vehicle for the insured. This is, they're renting a vehicle, and the rental company is required to be a loss payee. So when we requested the loss payee endorsement, we gave the vehicle info that was requested, and we currently have an endorsement in the pipeline adding loss payee. That's what we were looking for, is that loss payee endorsement. Right. Well, okay, so that was our, and so initially we were not adding a vehicle, we were looking for a loss payee endorsement. Then we got a request from your endorsement department saying, this vehicle is not listed, can you confirm that it needs to be removed entirely from the policy, or just the loss payee endorsement. So the vehicles are not being owned by the vehicles are not owned by the insured, they're being rented, short-term rental. So your answer was rental vehicles that are not owned by the insured don't require a loss payee to be endorsed on the schedule. So the policy language extends coverage to the loss payee and covered rental vehicles, even when the vehicle is not owned by the insured. So yeah, the loss payee associated with the rental vehicle is covered under the policy terms as written. So we wouldn't need the separate scheduling. Okay, well that answered the question, but then we received an auto ID card for the vehicle. So my question was, why, can you advise why we received an auto ID card? And they said some of the policies automatically just add an auto ID card, but that's not really a sufficient answer, because it seems like if you have an auto ID card being generated, then the vehicle is being added to the policy. But according to the policy language, you didn't need that for short-term rentals. Okay, and then we had a follow-up again saying, are these vehicles short-term or long-term? The reason I ask is because long-term rentals should be on the schedule. And we would not need to add a loss payee because of the policy language. If they're short-term rentals, a loss payee could be added. So it's kind of going back on what you said previously, because we want the loss payee to be covered, but it sounds like the policy language already covers that. So again, the question is, why was an auto ID card issued when we didn't need one? Right, that was a separate question about, essentially someone received a bond, never seen a bill for this, do I pay this or do you? I mean, I can probably answer that if the bond department can't. Do you want me to look it up? Doesn't seem like there's a swift response from the bond team, so let me see if I can look that up. Okay, I'll do that and get back to you.